Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, a name synonymous with speed, power, and world-class performance. But there's something about her sprinting technique that no one seems to be talking about. Hey, it's Mike Caton from Ace Method Coaching, and today I want to share with you something that I've noticed about Sydney's running technique that's really not typical. Let's check it out. When you look at all good sprinters, one of the things that's almost universal is that they run on the balls of their feet, maximizing their explosive power with every step. It's sprinting 101. But Sydney does something different. She appears to run on her heels, and it doesn't matter the race. The 200, the 400, the hurdles, the relay, it all looks the same. Most good sprint coaches do teach toe up, heel up as they bring their leg around, but when that leg cycles around and heads back into the track, the athlete typically points their foot more so they can strike the ground on the front of their foot. Sydney does some of that, but if you watch, she maintains her foot flexion or her dorsiflexion until just before her foot hits the ground. And if you see here, you can see just how much her foot is flexed up, and you can see a whole lot of the underside of her shoe. It's much more than the other sprinters. And it always appears like she's going to strike the ground on her heel, but she really doesn't. If you notice, her foot moves backwards and she strikes the ground flat-footed. And you can also notice she's pretty straight with the leg that's out in front, but you can see that it moves back towards the track, and when it finally touches down, she's flat-footed with her foot more or less underneath her center of mass. So why is this important? Well, there's some definite cons to sprinting on a midfoot or heels, namely increased ground contact time and a potential loss of explosiveness. But that would need to be weighed against some potential pros of having your whole foot on the ground, such as more force production, and it could potentially save some energy, especially if you tend to let your heel drop anyway after touching on the front of your foot. Plus, we need to consider individual differences. What works well for one sprinter might not work as effectively for another, so it's important to tailor the technique to the individual. Why is the most dominant sprinter in the world with one of the best coaches in the world doing this? It's interesting, don't you think? So is it a less than ideal foot strike, like a weakness, but she's able to overcome it with her other qualities, like her speed, her stride, and her mental focus? Or do they know a secret that we don't know, and maybe it helps her? If it's a weakness, imagine how much faster she'd be if she improved it. And if it's a weapon, why is this not the hottest topic in track and field? Either way, this should be a topic of conversation. Have you noticed Sydney's heel striking? Do you think it affects her performance either one way or another? Or maybe it's not a big deal at all? Let's talk about it. Jump in the comments below and let's start a conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more. If you want to see how I can help you with your running or sprinting, go to acemethodcoaching.com. And as always, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep pushing the limits. Coach Ace out.